Now it's time to speak about dynamic NAT. Whereas dynamic NAT is such kind of NAT which is making translations of multiple inside local addresses to multiple inside global addresses. And previously your command was looking like this: IP NAT inside source, and then you define it the command static. So actually you have two variants: or you will use static or you will use list. So if you're using list, you can use the variable name, which is defining. So here will be variable which is defining range of inside local addresses. And let me write here range. Okay, for example, 192.168.10.1 until 192.168.10 and 10, for example, like this. And afterward, if you selected this, if you're selecting list, then you are also able to define another variable through command pull. It's just calling another variable, for example, variable 2, and this variable will define range of inside global addresses. Okay, it can be 11110, for example, until 111 and 20 or 21, like this. And now how we can create these variables, which is defining the list of range inside local addresses. We can use with you the thing which is called access list. So previously you define it, you used access list to make filtration in the security purposes, and now we can use access lists to create a variable which consists of multiple private IP addresses. So how we can do it? We can type the command access list 10. So if you want to use the access list in the purpose in the NAT configuration, then you have to use access list, which is going to be the standard access list. So you can type access list 10 permit and define that range which you want to distribute, which you want to translate. And in other case, you can type, for example, you can use an ACL if you wish. Instead of this command, you can type this command: IP access list, then you can type standard, and then you are saying that its name will be, for example, inside global. It's going to be the name of our variable. And then you have to just say that it have to make permit, and the same command 192.168.10.0 with wildcard mask of prefix 24, like this. It will be same, so that instead of using then variable 10, you can use the variable which is called in glob. Well, this variable is defining private IP addresses. So it's defining the list of private addresses. Then we have to create a pool which is going to describe a public IP addresses, and it's going to be command IP NAT pool and the variable of the pool, the name of the pool, my pool. Then you are defining starting IP address, from which IP address you have to make translations, to which IP address you have to make translations, like a lower IP address and higher IP address. And then you have to define the network mask. It's just subnet mask of that network, of those IP addresses. And afterward, you have to bound these two variables together in NAT configuration. To do this job, you have to type the command IP NAT inside source list, which is defining the variable 10. and variable 10 defines this range of IP addresses. Then you type pool and pool name my pool, which is defining the range of this IP addresses, so that you will make translation of network 192.168.10 and 100 10 and 0 network with prefix 24 to IP addresses 10, 111, until 111 and 200. So that here you have here you have 254 private addresses. Here you have available addresses. They are 100 IP addresses. So you can make translation first 100 IP addresses from private network to public network, and all other IP addresses, all other equipments with the IP addresses of the inside local addresses will be not be able to communicate with the internet, because they will be blocked by the access list which we had with you. So now we'll open with you the same packet tracer, but we will delete our previous configuration of router on router 0 of the NAT, so that we can just copy and paste it here, and then we'll define that we want to delete these configurations. Copy, and let me paste it back to the global configuration mode with the button paste. And then now we have to make new configuration, but before we'll make new configuration, we'll take a look for running configuration file, so that we have to be sure that we don't have NAT configuration, which we had before. And now it's time to make our configuration in the scenario of our presentation. So that we'll create an access list 10, which will permit network 192.168.10 and 0 with prefix with subnet mask of prefix 24, and then we will create IP NAT pool with the name my pool, for example. It can be your name, and afterward you have to define the lower IP address, for example, and now the end IP address, the higher IP address, and then we have to type net mask command and define the subnet mask of this IP addresses which are on the public side. Now we have to bound this two variables together in the command IP NAT inside source list, and we are defining the variable name 10, which is defining actually this range of IP addresses. And then we have to say that and pool will be called my pool inside here it is. My interface is already configured. I didn't delete my configurations from the interfaces, and now I have to take a look for running configuration file first of all. And in running configuration file, guys, I have to see here my NAT configured. So here it is, IP NAT inside source list, variable 10 as the inside local addresses, which will be translated to outside local addresses to my pool. And we have here a variable 10 which is defining the range of IP addresses. Oh, it's very bad range actually, because something went wrong, guys. I have to delete it. I have to copy it, and I have to paste it in the global configuration mode with the command no. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I mistakenly typed all zeros here instead of a proper IP address. So let me try to do it one more time. Access list 10, permit 192.168.10 and 0 with wildcard mask of prefix 24. Or do I have to type here wildcard mask? Not. Yeah, wildcard mask 0, 0, 0, and 255. And then I have to take a look one more time for my running configuration file, and where I have to see here proper access list. And here it is. And now I have to check my connectivity between these equipments so that I will make a ping test from PC 0 to server 0, and let me also clear my translations, previous NAT translations, by using command clear IP NAT translations and star, which is defining all translations. Now it's time to check the connectivity between PC 0 and server 0, so that first exit packet will take the first IP address, so that if we'll catch the packet, here we can find the source IP address 111 and 100. So when our second computer, I mean PC1, will try to make communication with server 0, its IP address also have to be changed to, and let's take a look, where is the source IP address? It is 111 and 101. So it means that our NAT, dynamic NAT, is working, so that if you'll take a look for your show IP NAT translations, you can find out here, yeah, this is router 1, so we have to take a look for router 0, where we actually configure the NAT. Show IP NAT translations will show me that I am using source IP address inside local address like 111 with the inside global address with like 100, and inside local address 10.112 and inside global address 10.111 and 101. Well, my configuration is working with the of the dynamic NAT, and let's continue the lecture. PAT. In the PAT, we have translation of multiple inside local IP addresses into a single inside global IP address. So let's take a look for such kind of animation. So as you see here, we have IP addresses. Oops, sorry. So let's go back. Here we have our different source IP addresses. When our packet, oh, I'm sorry, one more time. Let me paste it here. So that when our packets will leave the router, they will have a single IP address. So you see, they had inside local IP addresses which are different, but their inside global IP address will be same. But only one thing will be changed. We'll have here the port numbers of the source ports, so that packet leave the computer with the source port. You see here the source port is 1555, so that as the result, our packet, when it will be retranslated, its IP address will be 226 on both of these equipments, on both of these packages, but the port numbers will be equal to those port numbers which been sent in original, so, from original computers. And it means that our computers will use the same IP address as the source IP address, but they will use different port numbers, so that by using these port numbers, router then can retranslate back the packages. So like this. And when communication come back again, it will be delivered to these ports, so that router will receive this packet through this IP address and will understand that this port is bounded with this IP address and this port number. Next, available port. Sometimes it can be happening that two same source ports are used by computers. So as you see in this example, our inside global IP address is now 226 with the port number 1444, due to that fact that our local IP address had this, our local socket had this port number. And when we'll have the situation that another equipment will try to make the same request, but from different IP address, but using the same port number, what router will do? Router will make translation from this port to next available port. So next available port in this example is 1445. Configuration of port address translation. In this example, we have to make translation of all IP addresses in the local area network to single IP address of our interface S0, 0, and 0. How we can do it? First of all, we have to create an access list, which we created in dynamic NAT translation, so that we can type the command IP access list will be standard, and we are defining inside local. So in loc will be the name of our access list, which is defining our local IP addresses, and permitting network 192.168.10 and 0 with wildcard mask of prefix 24. And then we are going to configure IP NAT without any pool. We are just typing IP NAT inside source and list, which is going to be in loc name, which will have the in loc name, and then we'll say that interface S0, 0, and 0. And also I have to type here the comment, because if I will not type the comment S0, 0, 0, only a single computer will be able to be translated. It's only one computer, the first who wants to make communication, only that computer will make translation. But all other computers will not be able to make translation. And then I have to type the comment, which is turning on the functionality of the PAT, the comment overload. Well, this comment is turning on the functionality of the PAT, and the first computer which wants to make communication will use this IP address, single IP address, and with its own port number. And then another computer will use the same IP address, but it will use its own port number, or maybe next available port number, depends on the situation. And also I have to be sure that my interfaces are configured. Interface gigabit 01 have to be configured as IP NAT inside, IP NAT inside, and interface S000 IP NAT outside. Let's try to check it out, so that we'll have with you the ICMP message type, and we'll try to make ping from PC0 to server 0, and when packet is leaving the router, its source IP address is 111 and 1, and when next computer is making ping to server 0, its source IP address will be, so let's take a look, will be also 111. This is possible because we are using PAT, and if we'll take a look for the table, show IP NAT translation, we'll see here that we are using different inside local IP address, but we are using inside global IP address, which is same, but it's their port addresses will be different, and by using this port numbers our communication can be distinguished.